Animal Crossing: New Horizons came out last week. It's the
Expletive.
hit game the pandemic. Perfect for your perfect fantasy for staying at home is just going outside. It's a perfect escape right now. If you're like me, no, never mind. If there's something wrong with you, like me, and you ask yourself, hey, I wonder where in the world the island could be located, then this is the video for you. Or maybe just you're just curious about it. May it never cross your mind, but you still want to know. If you don't care about Animal Crossing, well, too bad. That's what this video is about. It's about where is the New Horizons island located in the world. Now, if you stuck around the video and don't know what Animal Crossing is, it's about a Tanuki that abducts you into his island cult. It's just got all signs of a cult. They call him Glorious Leader, but actually, social isolation. He removes you from pretty much everything and everyone, and your communication with the outside world. Makes you feel special with Nook Miles. But anyways, that's enough of my side tangent about how you're abducted into a cult. That's basically the plot of the game. Is you're abducted into an island cult, and it's kind of like Jonestown, maybe. Or it's about just chilling on an island. But so I asked myself, where is this island located in the ocean? You want to hear the answer? You want to hear the straight answer? Where this island could be located? The answer is this island. Nowhere. It couldn't exist.
Expletive.
It's a fantasy island. Why can't it exist? Because you have fish from the Amazon and from Portland. I don't know. I said Portland, but the Pacific. You have piranhas and trout in the same water. So there's no way it exists. Also, you can't have tropical beetles and stuff and then have it snow in the same spot. Also, you can't really have freshwater fish on an island that's a square mile, if that. I don't even know how big it is. Not gonna look it up either. That's no fun. I'm not here to talk about. Just say the island couldn't exist. I'm gonna say where could most logically exist. How am I gonna do this? Well, judging by the fact that this channel's called Ocean Man, you can probably take a guess. Hint: it involves the ocean. I was like, well, maybe you ignore the NPC animal villagers. Ignore them. They're whatever. They're a mixed bag of nonsense. But if you look at the wildlife, I think you'd be able to get a better picture. You just cross out the insects because I don't think ladybugs live the same place as Hercules beetles. Could be wrong, but I don't think so. So then, there's the fish, and I already mentioned that you don't have piranhas and sturgeon in the same water. Just don't happen. So, but you know what you can't have? The ocean. The ocean, I think, has the most overlap for species of that could actually coexist in the same spot. So that's where I started. Started with getting rough idea of the species for real life, because you don't know, the descriptions are usually kind of vague for what they're called, because sometimes it's just called seahorse, I don't know, or squid, gee, which one? So based on purely on looks, I determine what each species would be, and sometimes for anchovy, I used I just used the family because they're so generic that it's it could be any kind of anchovy. Same with hammerhead sharks, I believe, and football fish. Spoilers for the fish that are in Animal Crossing's New Horizons, if you care about that.
Alright, so here's everything I use, including every fish species and a reference to which specific species. First name is its Animal Crossing name, the second name is its scientific name, and the third name is its most common English name. Because sometimes the Animal Crossing name just doesn't cut it. I should also mention that for the butterfly fish, I used the pocket sprite instead of the one they actually hold, because that's the one I could actually identify. Also, I'm not including anything you can catch with a net. For example, the hermit crab, I'm also not counting anything like shells. So that's pretty much that. So you can just pause, look at the exact species I'm using.
Okay, now I can get into what I had to do next was figure out how I was going to map the ranges of each type of fish. And so I had a couple of failed drafts doing this because the first one was just googling them all and then putting them into Photoshop, kind of drawing. But that was kind of inaccurate. Sure I could kind of tell some overlap, but then I found this just one website where I could just just plug in the name, and then it'd be like, oh yeah, this, and it'd show like the range map. Make it all the same color, and then so turn opacity, have low opacity, and then it just so the darker the region, the more variety of fish there were, and it ended up something like
this. So this is the map of all of fish species. The paler they are, the less kinds of fish there are. So the darker regions are what we want to focus on today. And so I just you can kind of see over here in like the Great Barrier Reef area, there's a lot of high density towards the south of Africa and like some of the smaller African island nations, a little bit in the Gulf of Mexico, some near Hawaii, Pacific Islands. They're all like coral reef areas. That's where most of were. But later I took it into the Photoshop to find which had to use the eyedropper to find the two most vibrant ones, and they were these two in Taiwan. So then going into Google Maps to then look for a space on Taiwan, you'll see that there actually is there are islands in those spots. On the more southern spot, there's Lambai Island, and in the north there is Guishan Island.
However, of the two islands, I think Guishan Island, don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, is more like a cannon. Also known as Liu Piu Island. Again, sorry if I'm butchering. I think it's more likely because the other one is, it's a pretty rocky cliff volcano. Like cliffs go right into the sea. The other one is just a coral island. Small coral island grows coconuts. Mm-hmm. Also, another point is that Taiwan lines up agriculturally with your Animal Crossing island because Taiwan, while not limited to, is able to grow apples, pears, peaches, citrus fruits, also bamboo. The only thing I they couldn't find mention of is cherries. So yeah, so I definitely think that a small island near Taiwan is the closest comparable candidate to have the most fish in common. It does have a population of about 13,000, so it's not quite deserted. Yep. But wait, what if you chose to build your island in the southern hemisphere? Yeah. Great. Now I gotta go back to the map again. I'll probably so I'm just gonna look at the Great Barrier Reef because there's plenty of islands around there. And wouldn't you know it, it just so happens that you can actually straight up rent an island in the Great Barrier Reef with minimal humans on it. So if you want to have a true Animal Crossing island experience, become so rich that you have
Exploitative
money, and then just rent an island in the Great Barrier Reef for the ultimate Animal Crossing island. So yeah, in conclusion, the Animal Crossing island based pretty much on summer, based on summer fish mostly. Yeah, is probably somewhere in the general Pacific Ocean near the equator area is probably where your island's located. Makes sense, Maine, Japan, so that kind of makes sense. The tropical island be close to there. Yeah, I think that covers it.